Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right, in honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through the series, experiencing his reactions, watching it for the first time, and reliving my summer memories throughout the years. Today's episodes are Thaddeus and Thor and De Plane. First up being Thaddeus and Thor. And before we go into it, we have Code Geass thing. I know what we're going to do today. Recap today. Phineas and Ferb recapping episode of their show again. Alright, so Dragon, Thaddeus and Thor. The boys meet some rivals. How you coming down on that?
I thought this is a fun episode, but I gotta admit, the plots are for this one are a little stuck. They're a little like, it's a little like we kind of recycled maybe some stuff from, I can't really say we recycled anything with Doofenshmirtz. Doofenshmirtz's plot just feels a little like, man, that's, I don't know. It just feels a little like we, it was not like the most top tier Doofenshmirtz plot we had. The execution was really funny. Don't get me wrong. It just felt like in terms of what are we gonna have Doofenshmirtz do this week? Kickball. Like really, that's it? Yeah, just kickball. Yeah, it's funny. I don't think it's necessarily like the high of highs with all Doofenshmirtz stuff that we've done, but Yeah,
and it's still manages to be very sad at the end too.
It does. I gotta admit, the whole rivals thing with Phineas and Ferb feels a little. It feels a little off. It feels a little like not bad. I don't think the execution was off at all for this, but I just feel like for Thaddeus and Thor, it feels a lot like this is something we don't really do with Phineas and Ferb, like really ever. Like it feels like something we pull from another show. We're gonna have the inverted kind of like the alternate version rivals for Phineas and Ferb and how they react to that. I think the results speak for themselves. They're not really fazed by him, so what's the point? It's not exactly Schooly and Fancy Son here.
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah. I still think although it's obvious the rival. The way I think it sets it apart, though, is like the rivalry is more with the sisters than it is the actual boys themselves.
But even then, Mandy and Candace don't really have much to say to each other aside from just the whole they have that moment at the top of with initiating the challenge, and then beyond that, it's just give Mandy a kind of a comedy line now and again of great, you broke their brains, that's about it,
Fun fact: Mandy's actually voiced by one of the writers of the show.
Oh.
Aliki Theophilopoulos voices her.
I would have been more impressed if it were from one of the male writers.
No, they can't speak a falsetto like that as good as
that.
I know.
It'd be impressive, though. You got to admit, it'd be impressive if that was Martin Olson or someone.
It would be impressive. Code Geass points out, in hindsight, it's interesting to have a character have an episode with Thor in the title, since the Marvel superhero eventually shows up.
Yes, interesting how Thor shows up as opposed to other Marvel heroes, but we'll get there.
Wait till you get to. I know that I'm not going to say it out loud, but there's literally an episode later with a Steve convention.
Ooh.
Later this season, so I'm just going to say that much. So
Jacob, throw up the addressment to the creators.
Fine.
Dan, Swampy, we're gonna have our day. All right.
You have been warned.
Yeah, it's coming.
And
speaking of a while, but it's coming.
And speaking of voices, do you know who voices Thaddeus?
Is that Danny Cooksey?
Yeah, you're right. It is Danny Cooksey.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep. Some of you out there may know him as the kid from T2, as Montana Max from Tiny Toons.
Or
I'm working to it, Dragon.
Okay, I'm excited to get to it.
And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if he's returning for the reboot of that. I haven't checked. But you might also know him as Dave the Barbarian or Jack Spicer, Evil Boy Genius.
Jack Spicer, yeah.
Evil Boy Genius. Remember, It's in the branding.
Also, from Static Shock, he is he's Hot Streak.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, he's really good in that too. He was the initial bad guy for Static Shock.
Oh, nice. Why do I not remember the Steve convention? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just don't remember the episode that well. It's later on this season, Uncle Ted, so maybe it'll jog your memory. So, Cook, yes, I remember watching a YouTube show that tried claiming that Phineas and Doofenshmirtz's son. Think there's any chance? No, there isn't.
Well, we never did see Phineas's father.
Yeah, and that was a deliberate choice based on deliberate.
Can you imagine how messed up that would be if he ends up actually being like Phineas's father, and then we have the whole thing with Vanessa and Ferb?
Yeah, the creators have explicitly confirmed several times that it's not true.
Yeah, but that's like an actual thing. People have been thinking that Phineas is.
It's due to it's due to like a later episode, like a flashback in a later episode. As Linda dating Doofenshmirtz.
Wait, oh my God, she dated Doofenshmirtz?
Very briefly, yes. That's shown in a future episode.
That's amazing. We'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's shown very briefly, and let's just say it's a very interesting development they have. I mean, obviously Phineas is not related to Doofenshmirtz in any way. But something interesting does come from that, nonetheless.
Okay.
Anyway, interesting voice talent this episode, anyway. So,
yep.
You seemed excited to mention Jack Spicer, Evil Boy Genius, though.
Yeah, I look, Danny Cooksey's. Every time I think of Danny Cooksey, there's a number. As Jacob went over, there's a number of really great roles for him. I mean, for me, the go-tos are. Believe it or not, I know David O'Brien is a great one, but for me, my go-tos are Hot Streak and Jack Spicer. But Jack Spicer in particular it's just a breath of just really great, absurdly funny material. Just this incompetent genius, like villain. Archfoe is very gadget heavy. He has a great design. He's pathetic, and it's a cornucopia of comedy with Jack Spicer from Shaolin Showdown. Plus, I had a lot of great fondness for the original Shaolin Showdown. I tried the reboot, but I guess it was a reboot. Kind of a continuation, so not a reboot.
It's like half reboot / half continuation.
Yeah.
Dragon, don't be wrong. I have fond memories of Shaolin Showdown too. Like Jack Spicer and Wu Ya were a great duo.
Oh yeah, I love the Shengong Wu.
That's just so fun to say.
Oh yeah.
We need to do a retrospective of that show one day.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, man, being the gadget nut that I am, for a while I was drawing all the Shengong Wu.
All right.
Anyway.
But that's a discussion for another day.
That is true. Point being, Jack Spicer for the win.
Evil Boy
Genius.
Good news, Dragon. The 20th anniversary is in November.
Ah.
So we can actually discuss that.
Nice.
But future plans aside.
Anyway, so grocery shopping.
Yeah, Linda's going grocery shopping, and she leaves Candace in charge again. You think she would have learned, but
well, no conditions this time. Not in case a satellite crashes.
No, just unequivocally in charge.
Yep.
Not unconditionally, as you mentioned.
Yeah, there are new neighbors. Mandy, I guess they're new neighbors, right?
Well, they're visiting neighbors, they're relatives of their neighbor.
Okay.
It's
so Mandy shows up, and Mandy, as Mandy voiced by one of the writing staff, she announces that she's also annoyed. She relates to Candace. I too have annoying brothers who build things all the time and get away with it.
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, as revealed later on, Thaddeus and Thor, though they are impressive architects, they're more bound to the laws of reality and physics.
Yeah,
and that's a restriction that Phineas and Ferb that's not applied to them.
So Thaddeus and Thor. I like the idea here that okay, what if Phineas and Ferb actually were annoying like Candace thinks they are? It's like what if these guys like just gonna have an obnoxious pair of brothers? They were smart. They were probably a cut above the rest to some degree, but they let it get to their heads. There's an ego versus there not being an ego at all with Phineas and Ferb. It's a moral. Kids, the moral is don't let your head swell. Don't get an ego, or else you're gonna turn to Thaddeus and Thor. You're gonna become gummy. You don't want to become gummy.
Even Phineas is like, where we? Even Phineas is not fazed by their boast. Like, are you jealous? And he's like, no, I'm not. I mean, he's not like confrontational about it, but he's just more of a matter of fact kind of thing.
Exactly. So if they come back, we have to have the Bizarro Isabella.
Yep. Unfortunately, we never see Thaddeus and Thor again.
Oh well. Well, that's probably for the best because here's the thing. Doing an idea like Thaddeus and Thor, yeah, I mean, look, it's fun, but by the same token, there's no lifeblood there. It's kind of like it's a one and done. It's sort of like it's a cheap move.
I mean, that might be why they never did bring them back.
Like, unless you're actually Bizarro Superman, there's only so much. Even when we did Bizarro Superman through the animated series, we only used them so many times, and 2 out of the 3 times were really good, and the third time was,
And the first time was tragic.
That's what I'm saying. The first time was amazing. Second time was really good, and then the third time was. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like so either way, like wait, where were we?
Okay, so we talked about Thaddeus. We were talking about Thaddeus and Thor and the fact they don't come back.
Oh yes, oh yeah, and then even Phineas tries doing the gummy thing to Ferb, who doesn't have any of that.
Well, I think he's making fun of them saying gummy. I don't think he's actually asking for gum.
I know, he most likely is, but even Ferb's just like, please. Just like, it's like one of the few times we actually see Ferb get straight up annoyed.
All right, so we have this hilarious major monogram gag. This is my favorite part of the episode. Honestly, it might be my favorite part of the whole week.
Yeah, all right.
I love this. So Perry Platypus, he's going through the entrance. Like, hey, where's Perry? He's going through the hose because he's kind of jammed in the hose.
They need to work on their entrances.
They do. I blame. You know who I blame?
Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
Dang it, Carl.
Dang it, Carl. You know what that means.
I know, yeah. Dang it, Carl. You know what? Carl would be great at at secret entrances and constructing secret entrances.
Who would be?
Carl the Minion.
I can see that. Carl minions are known for their constructive prowess.
Good engineer. Also, you know what? Who'd be a good backup?
Who?
Carl the Robot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, anyway. So we have this great gag where Monogram thinks, where's Agent P? You think he's coming in? You think he's going AWOL? And then Carl's basically, it's almost like that workplace gossip saying, "Oh, I don't know, sir, we're awfully hard on Agent P." He says, "Yeah, I was rough on Agent P, wasn't I? Do you think the little guy will ever forgive me?"
It's like Carl manages to entirely guilt trip Major Monogram.
I love this so much. I just love Major Monogram, our rough boss here, just being like, "Oh man, I'm so rough on that little platypus guy." I just you think just because this is completely misreading the situation. No, build better entrances, you dope. That's what's because every week it's you're putting this poor. That's who you should apologize for, putting through these stupid little entrances. Anyway, so he shows up, and then of course he leaves. Like, well, he did look pretty upset. He looked pretty upset to me, sir. And now I hate myself.
I hate myself.
Okay, so gritty reboot time.
Gritty reboot time. Okay, there we go.
Okay, gritty reboot time. This is all an intentional ploy by Carl to steal Perry's job.
Ooh.
Okay, because he sees Monogram always glowing about Agent P, and he says, "Oh, doesn't he look so great in his little hat, Carl?" He says, "I mean, why can't you pull off a hat like that, Carl?" And Carl is like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm gonna oust them. It's just the idea that Carl is sowing these seeds of discontent and trying to make Major Monogram, kind of guilt himself out and be convinced that Perry Platypus is walking and he's dissatisfied, and maybe Carl, who we know builds the majority of these entrances, he's intentionally built faulty entrances. That's why Perry got delayed and he got jammed in there. I mean, it could be even more malicious. I mean, for all I know, it could have been like a death trap within an entrance.
Oh boy!
But still, the fact is that Carl is trying to convince Monogram, maybe we should let him go. Maybe Perry's being difficult, Maybe I could wear the hat. Maybe I could do it, huh, boss? Put me in, coach. Put me in, mustache. Anyway.
Like, Code Geass, and I noticed that from that picture that many Carls are depicted as nerds.
Exactly our point.
Carl from Jimmy Neutron, the Carl from Jimmy Neutron is not really a nerd. He just has a llama obsession.
I don't know. I think he kind of fits he's got a llama obsession. But still, he's got the inhaler. He's got all the trappings.
That's like a stereotypical nerd.
Yeah.
But not to the same extent. But he's not a very intelligent, smart nerd, though.
I mean, he loves folding his pants, Jacob. I'm folding and hanging.
Oh, no wonder Rob Paulson loves him.
Yep, and he likes lima beans.
Yep, and Jimmy's mom.
Well, we all love Jimmy's mom.
All right, moving on.
Kidding. Okay.
I know. Don't tell Carl.
All right. So, let's see. So Candace.
Yeah.
He's now competing with Mandy.
They get into an argument over who's more annoying, and who technically it's Candace showing off that her brothers are also more, even though they're more annoying, they're also more impressive than her brothers, than Mandy's brothers. So it's actually coming across she takes a bit of pride in how her brothers are.
Oh yeah.
So go on.
So basically, they force a contest here. They're going to force their brothers to build them some forts.
I love Ferb's reaction to this one. It's Phineas is against it at first because we don't do this to compete. We do it for fun. And then we learn Ferb's main motivation for this, for doing all these things. His motivation is and for the ladies.
Yeah, so we see. So yeah, we know who he's talking about. He's talking about Vanessa. Yeah, we know for a fact it's for Vanessa too, because we saw that hot rod from outer space.
Yeah, the ride from outer space.
Yeah, the ride from outer space.
It's we all know. He's he does it for the ladies. One lady specifically, but Ferb is basically a Casanova almost.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just look at the guy. I mean, this is from the next episode, but just look at him in this picture. He cleans up nicely. He's
building that nest, and that nest is Vanessa.
Yes.
All right. So, let's talk about the Doofenshmirtz family reunion.
Yep, in which we learn the annual kickball game.
I love just how unsatisfied Doofenshmirtz is with having to attend this I related so much with Heinz Doofenshmirtz this episode. Not the kickball thing, but just the idea of being nonplussed at the family reunion.
Yeah, especially if it's a remarried family and you have no idea who everyone is, but you're expected to be oh, hi, yeah, hello, who are you? Nice to meet you.
I do love the Doofenshmirtz. He's very proud of the cup stacking record.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty impressive. I think that's more impressive than kickball.
I just love that. I love that he has great hand-eye coordination, but he has his terrible feet coordination with his feet. He's clumsy. He's got 2 left feet.
Yeah, literally almost.
Almost, yeah. So we have this terrible love ballad from Love Handle, so it's a little better. But sang by Doofenshmirtz in a shrill way about the whole love and kickball thing.
Of course, it's a parody of one of the most famous songs from Dude, We're Getting the Band Back Together.
Mm-hmm.
It's Doofenshmirtz does a parody of it, and he actually got them in his flashback. I know people.
He knows flashback people.
Yep, like somehow he's able to get love handle for his flashback, which is pretty nice.
We learned that Roger, his younger brother, he's great at kickball. I mean, ridiculously good. I mean, even as a toddler, he's like kicking those balls all over the place. He's great at kickball. Doofenshmirtz cannot kick the ball to save his life.
Oh no, like his mother's love is always inexplicably linked to kickballs. So that basically means that Roger was like, I mean, Doofenshmirtz was already, I mean, Heinz was kind of already on the outs with them, but obviously this is just another kink in that, another wrinkle in that, I should say.
It makes you wonder if he could kick the ball. Do you think he'd be loved more by his family? It's almost, I love that we put Doofenshmirtz in a Charlie Brown position this episode. Just the fact that it's as silly as it is. I do love it's like what if Charlie Brown just went crazy and was so determined to kick the football he would basically develop a weapon of mass destruction to some degree.
That would be an interesting
like a weapon of mundane destruction.
I mean, it'd probably only target Lucy though.
Yeah.
It
would fail miserably because he'd be kicking himself in the head constantly, but yeah.
It's like, I think Roger's a handsome guy. I can understand why Doofenshmirtz doesn't, even though he's arguably handsome too. I mean, it's in the eye of the beholder, but yeah, I can see that in some way.
If you were handing out the handsome man trophies and you saw Heinz and you saw Roger, who'd you give it to?
Roger. What about you? Well, who would you give it to then?
I mean, I don't know if pity would at all influence the decision, but I mean,
let's put it this way: if there's a handsome man contest, and I could give one trophy to Heinz or Roger, I would give Heinz a participation trophy.
It's like, hey, you have John Hamm and you have Steve Buscemi. Who do you give it to? It's I'm going with the Bat Ham on that one.
Bat Ham.
Well, at least a hopeful Bat Ham. Please, John Hamm, play Batman, please. Anyway.
We should set up a petition.
Yes.
Anyway.
Get John Hamm Batman. Let's get Alan Tudyk Joker. Let's make it happen in live action, baby. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't work for Warner Brothers, so we can't make that happen.
Last I checked, still no.
Until we work for Warner Brothers, I don't think we'll have any say in that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it's easy. We should just get a job at Warner Brothers.
Yeah, we don't care about money.
like hire us. We'll do it for free.
Sure.
Just kidding.
Anyway.
So
it'd be hilarious if they took us up on that offer right now out of desperation. Just like, yes, we need writers. Yes, do it. Come.
Okay.
Have some free swag while you're at it.
Sweet. Good deal.
No royalties, but you get all the swag you can carry.
I mean, you could sell the swag.
You could, yeah. Be a little disingenuous because that was free swag given to us, Jacob. We should, they want you to put that on your desk.
I know, but if it sells for a good amount of money, then you could.
You could. I don't know. But at least want to wait maybe like a month.
Yeah, maybe. But then they'll hire one for part time, maybe.
Anyway, so back on point here.
Yeah. So Doofenshmirtz invented the Kick-inator, basically.
5,000.
5,000. You're right.
But it just keeps kicking him in the face,
or just basically just knocking, basically moving his
leg. Full Charlie Brown, practically.
Except he's doing it to himself.
To himself, yeah.
He doesn't need anybody to pull the ball away from him. He just does it himself.
It's like an imaginary Lucy is there.
Oh God!
All right, so let's see. Getting back to the boys here, we still have Harry the contractor.
It's like, hey, where's Harry? I'm over here. Now he has a contractor. They don't do much.
That's such a good joke.
I mean, the funny thing is, real contractors actually do a lot of work.
Yeah, but I mean, just the idea that these boys have the equivalent to their pet platypus would be this contractor who sits around and seemingly does nothing, but in reality probably does. He probably gets the permits and stuff, and he probably is doing a lot off screen like Perry the Platypus does.
I know, but it's still funny.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
It's like, well, he's a contractor. They don't do much.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Danny Cooks, he
Well,
doesn't
lesbians, even if contractors do a lot, they are constantly delinquent in their contracts, man. That it's like they take forever because they know the job. They get paid more if they take forever. So
Yeah. It's like, and unfortunately, we don't get to see Danny Cooks like perform his famous screams in this episode. I mean, because let's face it, like Dave, Jack Spicer, like they screamed a lot.
He is the master of the shrill, girlish scream.
Pretty much, and he doesn't do that in this episode.
He's a boy genius, but not that boy genius.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see. So this is great. Candace is in a position here where, okay, Mom's actually going to discover this, but I need for spite, I need her to go away so I can win this wager.
It's like you forgot that stuff.
Jacob, can you believe Linda? She forgot the stuff.
Like the stuff.
She forgot stuff, man. You can't forget stuff when you go to the grocery store.
Not stuff, Dragon. The stuff.
I know. It's the stuff. I mean, it's branded right there. The stuff. We see it later. The stuff. And Linda forgot the stuff.
Yes. But of course, she asked Candace to put the stuff away, and she just throws it on the floor.
Different stuff, not the stuff, just stuff.
Yes, that stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So then, it's going to come to bite her later.
Oh yeah.
And meanwhile, Charlene and Vanessa, they're at the reunion, and we have this great gag where Heinz like, "You're not even a Doofenshmirtz anymore."
Like, I kept the name.
I just love the way Allison Janney says that. I kept the name.
I mean, it's a cool name.
Yeah,
it's a pretty neat name. If you got to admit.
No, for sure, yeah.
and of course, Vanessa's like, "You can do it, Dad." He can't do it.
But I like that she's trying. She's giving it a shot, showing the moral support there.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, she still cares for him.
All right. Anyway, so initially, it works. After hilarious trial and error with Perry, by the way, is the fact that I love it. Has like dangling a fishing wire. He's like, "No, just put it close to me. Just not do that. Not that close." Okay, that's good.
Like, not. I didn't say put it a mile away. Just put it right there.
Just the way we use Perry the Platypus this episode is so hilarious because there's not even a fight at all, and he's just like helping out his deluded, stupid arch nemesis, like to kick a ball.
It's like, I mean, Doofenshmirtz really isn't even doing anything evil this time.
No, he's not. No,
it's like Perry's just helping him just because he can.
Even so, he self-foils himself because he kicks the ball. He makes the rounds, but instead of the ego, kids, the arrogance of youth. Well, I guess the arrogance of evil in this case. He kicks that ball, and he's gloating to Roger, and Roger just catches the ball when it bounces off the giant tower.
Yep. Speaking of which, we should get to that.
Yeah, so there's a giant tower.
Yep. First we see Thaddeus and Thor's fort, which is a slide and
it's modest, but it's nice.
There's a slide and a licorice dispenser, which is a pretty nice fort, actually.
Yeah.
That's one thing that it's like that Phineas and Ferb does not have a licorice dispenser.
I should mention I also have an affinity for forts.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Like what kind of forts?
I don't know. I just like the idea of kind of like a little cozy structure outdoors.
If you build yours, though, you'd call it the Bat Cave.
I mean, pretty much. Well, more like the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Of course, crystals are hard to come by, though.
Yeah, it's just, well, you could just name it whatever. You could just name it that. It doesn't have to be. If it's a fortress and you're Solitude in there, why not?
There you go.
So of course, Phineas and Ferb unveil their fort, which is very small and very dinky.
It would seem. And Candace is just ranting like, "Oh, you got." She's going the full Lucy here, like, "Oh, what have you done? I counted on you this one time, and you embarrassed me. You embarrassed me in front of her."
Yep. And then after she storms off, feeling like disappointed, and Their homage to a classic construction.
They push the button and basically, I love the idea here that they push the button and just. I was on the edge of my seat thinking, okay, there's got to be something underneath that little fort. There's got to. I didn't know how massive it was going to be. I thought it was gonna be like a little thing, but they push the button and then it just comes out and out and out. And it's almost like it's like a totem pole. It's like a totem. It's like a giant totem pole tower of sorts of forts.
It's basically like a skyscraper.
Yeah, constructed of like different layers of forts.
Yeah, but like what? I'm trying to figure out and remember what's inside the.
Well, inside they have a bunch of cool stuff. There's a bowling alley. There's a pool. There's a terracotta army room.
Jet engine wind tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And a 40-piece orchestra.
I respect they went for the 40-piece orchestra.
Yeah, the 30-piece orchestra sold last week.
But no licorice dispenser.
That was a nice touch.
It was. I like they're giving props to the licorice dispenser.
Yeah.
So then this I think justifiably breaks or the cocky the cocky inverse pairs brains here. Well, if they're brain fried after seeing all that amazing stuff after they scoffed at the fort.
I mean, like I said, Thaddeus and Thor, they're bound by things like reality and physics.
Yep.
Phineas and Ferb do not have those restrictions.
They do not.
But it is. Some people have pointed out like Thaddeus and Thor are kind of like what the kind of stuff what they would do, like if they were real, if Phineas and Ferb were realistic in a way.
Basically, if Dan and Swampy made the slightly boring version of Phineas and Ferb, like the practical real life version, and they built a little fort. Look at that little fort, huh? It's nice. It's got a liquor dispenser. Yeah.
Yep. Doesn't have cup holders though.
Mm.
You gotta have the cup holders.
That is true. Yeah, do we have like a tree house that fights the other one? Like, no, I don't think so.
It's like they just built a tree house. What is it? What does the tree house do? Nothing. It's a tree house.
Anyways, of course, we have the usual rigmarole with Linda. She comes home, but she's not going anywhere until Candace cleans up her mess. And stalks it as she does. The base is returned back to its seemingly humble appearance, and
and in the process, seemingly breaks Doofenshmirtz's cup stacking record.
I think feels a disturbance in the force.
I think my record was just broken. You gotta admit, Doofenshmirtz's cup stacking is pretty impressive.
It is.
I mean, he's able to do all that and do different stacks in just 3 seconds. Unfortunately, though, his mother didn't care, and all Candace was doing was just stacking groceries, and so I don't think anybody really cared. And of course, the boys regress the fort back into the ground, and all Linda sees is the original top fort.
And basically, look, it's nice to see the boys have taken an interest in building things. She's wowed by it, which is all that matters. I love this line out of context. Okay, boys, who wants stuff?
Who wants stuff?
I love, you can imagine Carolina Reed, she's having just a great time, just like boiling down like the mom role, just who wants stuff?
Like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want some stuff, Dragon?
I could use some stuff.
Yeah, some stuff does sound good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so that's Thaddeus and Thor out of the way. On to de plane, where the boys try to outdo Howard Hughes. How are you coming down on this one?
I mean, I think we all like a little nod to the Aviator now and again.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the movie, actually.
It's good. It's really good.
And I don't doubt it.
Yep.
I know it's it's a Scorsese and has Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, it's one of the top. It's one of the best DiCaprio performances. I mean, I think it's in the top 5 for him. It's I mean, for me, I always like Catch Me If You Can's my favorite DiCaprio thing. But I'd say The Aviator.
Well, it's hard to top Catch Me If You Can.
That's what I'm saying. I think for me, it might be right under Catch Me If You Can. I think The Aviator is it might be one of his best.
Oh, nice. I'll have to check that out then.
Oh yeah.
So, the boys try to outdo Howard Hughes. So, Dragon. So, how do you like the episode, though?
Well, yeah, the episodes. I mean, the episode's good. I like the. I love kind of our paper mache plane plot. You know that's great.
A paper
Um,
pelican.
yep, the paper pelican.
Yep.
The okay, so the Doofenshmirtz side of things here. It's I like. I mean, it's really weird. The way in which our plots coalesce is a little off to me. It's a little. I don't know how I feel about it. You know, it's okay, but I do. You know, I think individually I think they are fun. I think the setup for Doofenshmirtz thing, I think works really well. Like the fact there's no real evil backstory in this one, and the fact that it's a very green plot. I don't know. I think Doofenshmirtz is all set up on this one. The actual plot itself is like, okay, and he's going to evaporate stuff. You know, it just didn't really feel like much of a plot for him.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment of that.
So I mean, that's my main hesitation with this one. Otherwise, I think again our setups are great on this one. It feels like maybe our execution or payoffs. I mean, honestly, the Candace plot. I mean, look, talking through, I just think it's really saying that loud. It feels like, you know, our Candace plot was a little weak sauce too. Ultimately, it was a self-addressed rehash of an older plot line, and you know, the payoff was like, yeah, it's a little. I don't know. I think we have unnecessarily punished Candace. Not like the Susie way I've kind of mentioned before. But I just mean like I feel like we hurt Candace. You know, it feels really off that we really hurt Candace. So seemingly brutally. I know she gets like a little love note on her cast and everything, but still, it feels like, man, we didn't need to really wound Candace and Jeremy at the end of this, did we?
Yeah, I know.
Just over a misunderstanding. It feels a little rough.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Maybe a little disproportionate.
Candace is awesome sauce. Is cooking.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see Candace get all banged up and hurt and everything. I mean, when she didn't bring it upon herself.
Although I will say it is a nice change of pace not to. It is always a nice change of pace not to have her try busting the boys.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, you're right. That's appreciated. Just, you know.
I mean, she's taking a break from getting the boys in trouble. She's more focused on, like, the pool party.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of so Dragon, the episode, like, I have some real world background for this one.
Okay, hit me with it.
I have something shocking actually.
Mm-hmm.
The boys are liars. The real spruce goose was actually 320 feet and 11 inches. Unlike 319 as mentioned in this episode.
Ooh. Wow.
So
why did that happen?
So technically the boys are 11 the boys' wingspan of the paper pelican are 11 inches shorter than the spruce goose. So they didn't actually outdo Howard Hughes.
How the heck did that happen, Jacob?
I don't know how that happened.
Well, it sounded like you had the answers on that one. I thought you were going to say it was actually a thing in the writers' room where they misquoted.
I mean that's pretty much what it is. I mean, the writers gave faulty information or had access to faulty information.
You have to assume. Yeah, you have to assume that's what happened. So.
I mean, I saw it on the wiki, and I actually looked up the spruce goose on Wikipedia, and I confirmed the wingspan was actually.
Why go out of your way to be that detailed about this world record and then get it wrong? You know.
Like I said, I don't know why that happened.
Jacob, throw up the graphic. Throw up.
I was about to bring it up anyway, but here you go. Like, Dan and Swampy, well, you should have done your research. You guys should have done your research.
Boys, what the heck, guys?
You guys are usually good on your research.
It's such an educational show, and then we have like little Howard Hughes, info. What are we teaching the kids? We're giving them lie. You lied to America, Dan and Swami. You lied to the world. Okay, you made it sound like the paper pelican was gonna outshine Howard Hughes and his record. And nothing. And you gave us false information. You know what? It's not even a thing of like, okay, well, we had a measurement, and then the historians probably remeasured. There's no way they remeasured that. Okay, someone goofed up the numbers. Okay, someone transposed the number, and you were supposed to catch it, Dan. Swampy, you too. Don't you turn away, Swampy. I see you. I see you right there. Okay.
I mean, we could. Maybe it could be chalked up to artistic license, but considering it's actually based on something in reality, it does come across as kind of weird, considering how much other stuff they get accurate.
It's like, boys, you went out of your way to give us statistics and numbers, and unless I go back to the Aviator and they got that number wrong, and you guys just watch the Aviator to get those numbers, there is no excuse. Hoffenmeyer and
Mark.
Swampy.
All right.
Okay.
I know. Like,
they're gonna sit in the corner and think about what they've done.
it's like, yep. I mean, keep in mind though, guys, this is all in fun, of course.
Exactly. No, seriously, we love those guys, but it's just it feels really weird. Like, seriously, guys, how'd that happen?
It's like they're literally the boys actually come up 11 inches short on the wingspan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still impressive that they made an airplane out of paper, a literal paper airplane.
You're making them look like jerks, guys.
All right. I just thought those were kind of an interesting little tidbit.
Oh yeah.
Like, they actually didn't beat Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes still technically has them beat.
Yep.
Or maybe the brothers trying to outdo Mr. Burns' spruce moves.
Good.
Funny enough, the previous episode actually did kind of a shout out to Mr. Burns. The way Candace said, "Excellent." Excellent.
No, for sure, yeah.
She didn't do the finger temples, but she definitely did the voice.
Yeah, you gotta do the finger temples though.
Yeah, that would make it more complete.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the finger temples right now. I'm doing excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Dan and Swampy used to work on The Simpsons. That's where they met.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that's an intentional reference or what. I don't know. But
That's possible, I guess.
yep. So
All right, so the boys learn about Howard Hughes and they're trying to build a bigger spruce goose.
and they're watching the show Wacky Millionaires Throughout History.
Yep. So you're taking some pot shots. And Howard Hughes did go. Let's say his obsessive compulsive disorder did get the better of him, and he did spiral rather memorably.
Yeah, not in always the best ways, and he's also responsible for one of the most bizarre filming choices of all time too.
Yeah.
Look up like the Conqueror, I believe it was.
Well, I mean, Howard Hughes. Let's see. There's the Howard Hawks film. Howard Hughes. I forget if it was. If he did. I forget if Hell's Angels was his or not.
Like I remember how I believe it was Howard Hughes who was responsible for like the Conqueror with like John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, see, I was thinking of the plane one, not that one. But you're right. He did do that as well.
Yeah, that definitely went off as like, and the fact that they filmed like near a nuclear testing site.
Yeah, Howard Hughes is crazy like that. I mean, he's crazy in many ways. But that was the whole thing. Like he would shoot like in the movie with actual planes and everything in the camera, which was the first. Which Nolan later adopted.
But which of course this episode leaves out and only focuses on the fact that he built a giant plane.
Which, speaking of Howard Hughes, and I just mentioned Nolan, so we probably should mention it. Jake, did I ever tell you that Christopher Nolan wanted to one of his passion projects that he still is kind of talking about now was on the Oppenheimer press and everything? He wanted to do a Howard Hughes movie. Did you know who he wanted to play Howard Hughes?
No, who?
Jim Carrey.
Ooh.
Which I think is a really inspired idea because Jim Carrey, not just comedian, but very much he's a wonderful dramatic actor. But I mean, playing just kind of like the mixture of like the eccentric Howard Hughes.
That would be an interesting biopic, and that might be something to lure Jim Carrey out of retirement.
That's the thing. I mean, again, the last thing I saw Jim Carrey in was one of the best things I've ever seen him in. It was Kidding, which again I still go gaga for. I sometimes I'll find myself thinking about, man, the Kidding show is just brilliant, and half the world's never. Perhaps no one's seen it. Almost no one's seen that show. Yep. I mean, there's Tiki, myself, and maybe 5 other people who've seen that show.
I'm sure more than that I've seen.
I know more about them. I'm saying, but still, it's like the word never got out on that show, and it's a crime.
It did get a couple seasons though, which is nice.
Yeah, 2 seasons and an ending, which is important. So
I mean, a lot of shows can't even claim they got an ending.
I know that's the thing. So Kidding lucked out. The Kidding is very much a 2-part story and told in 2 seasons, so it's a full story. That's what's important.
Exactly.
Anyway, So point being, kids, watch Kidding, and let's campaign for that Howard Hughes, Jim Carrey, Christopher Nolan film. Anyway, the only reason it didn't get made was The Aviator came out, because he was thinking about making it way back when, but The Aviator was kind of stole his thunder.
Dang it, Scorsese.
Yeah.
Let's wait to hear that Scorsese wanted to do an Oppenheimer movie.
Oh God.
It's like, dang it. It's like how does it feel, Scorsese?
Oh boy, yep.
Imaginary film rivalries aside.
Right. So the boys, again, they're building their own spruce goose made of paper mache. And they're using all these news,
which literally makes it a paper airplane.
Yeah. So they're using newspaper, and we have this gag with all these newspaper puns. But Buford's are falling on dead ears.
Which, to be fair, I think Buford's are more clever than some of the other ones that Phineas.
I really like Buford's joke about the whole and funny. Because the funnies. And I think it was funnier than the circulation gag that Phineas said.
But let's face it, sometimes it all comes down to the delivery. Phineas definitely has more charisma than Buford does. Very
true. So we have this giant paper mache, paper airplane, essentially.
I admit it is pretty impressive to build a giant airplane out of paper mache.
I do like the recycling theme, but with both plot lines for this. We use paper instead of the very expensive, very probably environmentally non-friendly thing. Because Howard Hughes, the idea he went through a fortune to build the spruce goose.
And the funny thing is, and funnily enough, part of the recycling involved Baljeet stealing Lawrence's newspaper.
You know what? I won't talk about that for a second. It just feels like we saw they had gobs and gobs of newspapers at the ready for that paper mache project, and they would have to. But just the fact that Baljeet, yet again, Baljeet has a thing against the Flynn family, man. Because Candace insulted him. Because Candace just, is just like, is always just put him down, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to take his paper. I don't care. I'm just going to take his paper.
Oh, my God.
Just went out of his way to deprive Lawrence of what's going on in the world today.
Oh, God.
It's just like that Tom Hanks movie, News of the World. We're taking the papers away, man. It's not cool, man. It's not cool, Baljeet.
No, not cool, Baljeet.
Bad Baljeet.
I mean, if we have any more instances of that, I'll create another banner for it.
I'm gonna say with Baljeet is just, Baljeet's just, he's deplorable at the end of the day, because he's very academically dishonest despite being such a scholarly type. He's always like, Phineas and Ferb, save me, save my academic career and promise, give me A's on these. He's trying to deliver on oh yeah, I can build a portal to the moon. No, you can't. You had no way of doing that. Yeah, maybe you built the idea for that, but still you had no way of physically going from point A to point B on that. You lucked out completely with that, okay? Phineas and Ferb did all the work on that, Baljeet. All you did was basically that's a thing. Even if you came up with the idea, it's like that's a Stargate, okay? It's not the first time we've ever heard of that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the curry gelatin, of course.
Yep, the curry gelatin. Yeah, Baljeet brings an idea to the table and almost kills everyone.
It's to be fair, that wasn't really Baljeet's fault. We know that was really Doofenshmirtz's fault, though.
But isn't curry really the flavor of evil?
I don't know. I know it's spicy.
It's a spicy take, that curry gelatin monster.
All right.
The only thing that would have made that gelatin monster better is if it was voiced by Tim Curry.
Well, we do get Tim Curry again. We do get Tim Curry again later on.
He's going to come back?
Yes, not as the same character, but he does appear in a future
I know
episode.
that. I know. All right, cool.
The gelatin monster doesn't come back though.
Yeah.
Because it died.
Yep.
One of the few straight up canon deaths in the show, if you call it a death. Anyway.
Yeah, it was sad. It was sad to see the gelatin monster go.
Yep. The more
anyway.
we have the more Tim Curry, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we were actually talking about Tim Curry recently on Batcave Beyond.
Was he in an episode?
Yeah, he was in an episode of Batman Beyond, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Of course, it was very serendipitous given that Tim Curry was there technically at the very beginning of Batman the Animated Series, but he was recast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was the Joker.
I know. He was a Joker and then like some health issues or they thought he was too scary.
Well, it was kind of a combination of things. I think it was a combination of, well, it's unclear what the exact reason was. Some people, I believe they say it's just the official reasons that he was too scary for the networks. It might have been a money thing. It might have been he was just busy with other things. I think it was a little bit of everything.
All right. And of course, we got Mark Hamill out of the deal, so.
We did. So again, if you ever watch Batman the Animated Series, you'll notice when we get the Joker's favor, that's the best and most natural Mark Hamill sounds is the Joker. The other times it's Mark Hamill trying to lip sync to Tim Curry's Joker delivery on the episodes before that one.
You mean every time after Joker's favor, or including?
No. Well, you know what I mean. When Joker's favor premiered, it premiered for. If you watch in production order, like if you watch, Christmas with the Joker, Be a Clown, and Last Laugh, those are Tim Curry episodes.
I think what I mean is like his performance becomes more natural after that point.
Yeah, exactly. So after that point, when he does Joker's favor, that's like Joker's the first Mark Hamill written Joker.
Tim Curry's the Joker we deserve, but not the one the studio needed. But
That's a way of putting it.
Like I said, we got Mark Hamill out of it, so I can't say that was necessarily a bad thing.
Yep.
All right, so the Spruce Goose has officially been outdone, according to the boys. But we all know the truth. But they officially finished the Paper Pelican and begin the boarding. And of course, Buford's like talking about food. Like, I hope there's something more than an insignificant bag of peanuts.
Of course, it's a plane ride, so there's nothing but an insignificant bag of peanuts. So Baljeet has a dilemma.
It's like, son, yep. Like, welcome to Wedgieville, population me.
But Baljeet has an inventive solution here. We don't have an insignificant bag of peanuts, but we do have the peanut chicken.
So peanutty, you won't even taste the chicken. Yep. Like,
oh God.
It does kind of harken back to like even this episode. This whole entire like plane ride is inspired by like 40s and 50s like aviation.
I mean, the air travel was an event back then,
including like bags of peanuts, which they don't have anymore.
Yeah, wait, they don't have the bags of peanuts anymore?
They haven't had bags of peanuts on there for quite a while, Dragon.
That's crazy, man. I didn't know that at all.
I mean, I'm guessing it's most likely because of people with peanut allergies.
Well, yeah, but you'd imagine the people with allergies would say, "Hey, I don't want a bag of peanuts."
I mean, the thing is, like, some people can have severe reactions even to like peanut dust.
Oh, you know what? Oh God, you never watched Hunters, did you?
I don't think so.
The show Hunters on Amazon. It's great. There's a scene in Hunters in the first season where our neo-Nazi character.
Oh, yay.
Because Hunters is about hunting Nazis from Operation Paperclip. Basically, like 30 years after World War II, the Nazis were welcomed as scientists and everything, and basically it was. Anyway, it's really worth watching, kids. The point being, one of the bad guys, the neo-Nazi, Travis, Travis is on the plane, and essentially he's all about philosophizing basically about the pursuit of the Jews and everything in the modern then in the 70s, the modern 70s then. And basically he's on a plane and he has this kid who has a peanut allergy, and he says, actually, yes, I'd like nuts. And he's basically intimidating him, basically likening, the inferiority of people to other people with the peanut allergy. It's oh God, it's terrifying because he's like eating these peanuts while he's laying out this spiel to this mother and her kid, knowing the kid has a peanut allergy. It's just really, it's really intimidating.
Oh man.
Oh man, Hunters is great.
All right, so of course Buford, at least Buford's not allergic to peanuts, and he enjoys he enjoys the peanut chicken.
Yep, because there's no hint of chicken in that.
No.
You want to get peanuts? Come on, let's get peanuts.
Yeah.
You got Charlotte Brown, you got Lucy, you got.
I actually reason me. How do you prefer your peanut butter, Dragon? Like creamy or with peanuts in it?
I don't really do peanut butter, but I'd say creamy.
I like homemade peanut butter crackers. I always get the extra crunchy peanut butter.
But I guess more for the butter than the peanut in that case,
I mean, it still has the peanut. It still has the peanut butter in it.
I know. I'm just saying, I think I want smoothness before I want stuff in the crunchiness. It feels like, oh man, someone's dumped stuff in my peanut butter. That's gonna make me paranoid.
You got peanut butter in my chocolate.
Exactly. You got chocolate in my peanut butter.
I'm also Reese's. What's going on here? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. He takes a bite and then, it's...
Yep.
I would still love that to be the actual origin of Reese.
Family Guy joke, everybody. So switching gears to Doofenshmirtz, we learned that Doofenshmirtz, Monogram's trying to find some way to rationalize the recycling that Doofenshmirtz is doing. Basically, boil it down to not being neutral. They're doing something neutral, and make sure it stays that way.
Because he's recycling, which is good, but it's probably for something evil, which is bad. But then again, even if it's bad, it can't be all bad if he's recycled. So he's make sure whatever he's doing stays neutral.
Exactly.
Built the evaporator-inator.
Yep, and that's exactly what he did. He's being green evil, or greevil.
Greevil. I love greevil. That's a great term for what he's doing.
It's exactly what he's doing. He's green and he's evil.
So that's the idea. He's using the solar-powered evaporator, and they made a bunch of glass bottles, which basically magnifies like a ray of doom, to vaporize stuff. So first off, we learned the backstory.
Back in Gimel, my mother would not let Gimelstube. Well, they're all in the same area. It's like Gimelstube, Jerusalem, all that place. But anyway, my mother would not allow me to swim in public pools.
But she'd have him dress up in the bathing suit and go all the way to the pool, and then they'd stand in front. It's like, no.
Not everything has to be the in-depth spiel, Mr. High Expectations.
I just love that. It's the fact. It's like, I just want to share a random, sad story. Just, no correlation to this evil plot, really.
Yeah. So, Dragon, I think you might want to address Code Geass. Code Geass's comment.
Let's see. Did I mishear you, or did you say you're a racist? What? No. He misheard Officer Reese's, not it's, like the Reese's Pieces, like the chocolate and the peanut butter.
Look up Family Guy Officer Reese's.
Yeah, that's what you're.
He was talking about me. Never mind then.
Yeah. I think that's what we probably misheard. I think.
Well, sorry then, Dragon. I got a bit confused. Family Guy Officer Reese's.
Yeah.
It's basically a joke on how the Reese's peanut butter cups got started.
Yeah, just like two guys can have a collision course, and like the chocolate and the peanut butter get mixed in, and then the guy just shoots him, and he takes basically takes the remnants, and he claims credit for the idea. And I would so love it for that to actually be the origin of Reese's peanut butter cup. It was the whole Reese's peanut butter thing.
It's all right, Cookie. Yes.
All right.
All right. Moving on from accusations like that, mishearings.
Yeah.
It's like Doofenshmirtz basically said not every plan needs to be an in-depth spiel, which is pretty nice. It's not a big complicated backstory, but it's a backstory nonetheless.
That's what I'm saying though. I think at the cost of that gag, we don't really know what the heck Doofenshmirtz is up to, do we?
Not really. I mean, just basically evaporating pools and stuff like that.
And was he even targeting pools, or?
I mean, they just.
I know he ends up evaporating a pool, but I thought that was by accident. Like, is he actually doing that?
Basically, just evaporating stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So, Candace spies Jeremy and Nicolette. A girl.
A girl. Oh no. Like this mysterious girl going on all these adventures who makes her seem inferior in comparison.
Yep, and Stacy points out isn't this a lot like that one time where Jeremy was talking to someone that looked a lot like a girl at that ski during was that during Swinter?
Yes, that was during Swinter.
Yeah, during Swinter, and the whole thing ended up being a guy.
Dee Dee.
Yeah, being Dee Dee, and it's like, no, it was, we learned okay, no, she's actually very female. That's Nicolette, and she's very threatening towards Candace. Candace is about to do the dive, and then the water gets evaporated by Doofenshmirtz. So suddenly everyone just happens to have conveniently skater gear, so they can skate around the now evaporated pool.
Again, of course, the whole safety first kind of thing.
Candace has a helmet on. They put helmets and elbow and knee pads on her,
and then a steering wheel,
which is funny with the airbag and everything.
How is this going to help? How is this going to keep me safe?
I gotta be honest, is the fact that we do that, and then the gag that follows, it feels like, well, she was protected and everything, and I don't know, collision feels a little contrived.
I mean, any athlete can tell you, Dragon, that even with protection, sometimes it doesn't help with collisions like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Even so, it just feels like.
I mean, I'm not saying it's good what happened to her. I'm just saying it's at least somewhat justified by what can happen in reality.
It also feels like the boys kind of maybe caused too much collateral damage with the spruce goose because they blocked out the sun.
The paper pelican.
You're right. The paper pelican. They blocked out the sun with the paper pelican.
Yeah, well, they didn't know though. So it's not like they did it with malicious intent, of course.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's a little reckless though. It's the fact that they cause an eclipse and everything with this unsanctioned flight. And there's a lot of consequence, and that ended up hurting their sister and poor Jeremy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, when they're in the air, we have this wonderful montage with Ferb singing.
Oh yeah, it's like a big ginormous airplane. That's the name of the song.
It's a good song. I loved it. Feels very Bobby Darin. Feels very feels like something that would be in the Aviator. I loved it.
I mean, it's of course Ferb. Earlier in the episode we saw Ferb dressed as Howard Hughes with the black hair and everything. But here we actually see him more as a Frank Sinatra-esque crooner.
Yeah, which I'm always down for.
Going along with the whole 50s era of aviation kind of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, I love of course Danny Jacob provides the singing voice because Thomas Sangster really doesn't sing any of his songs.
He doesn't apply himself. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, but Thomas Sangster never really sang in a song. He technically spoke twice in a song, in two different songs, but he didn't really sing.
Mm-hmm.
But Danny J. But in the first, it's kind of interesting that even the first bit of the song is even in an old radio, a muffled radio voice kind of.
Yeah.
So, I think he sang one. The one line he sang was I believe in in the Ballad of Badbeard, it was like an old refused to take up off, and that's like the only line of dialogue he ever sang. But like I love the entire song. Like they have the floor show, like the people swinging from the wing, the showgirl swinging from the wing was like. I don't know if I'd be able to condone doing that in reality, but it does look pretty cool nonetheless. And of course, the fireside girls and other passengers doing like the show on top of the roof of the plane. Just an overall fun sequence.
For sure. Anyway, so the plane lands in the water, and because paper mache, it completely dissolves. But thankfully, all their planes are flotation devices. So I love how fluid the animation goes here. Like plane dissolves, and then they float to the coast, to the bank, to the side of the river.
The seats inside act as flotation devices, which gotta admit is a pretty nice safety system.
I mean, they do work. I mean, that's how they work. I mean, it's works a little smoother and like less terrifyingly than it would in real life, but it looks good.
I mean, although to be fair, if they probably crashed in like a nearby pond or lake, if something like that actually crashed into like miles into the ocean, there would be other issues to deal with. Obviously, that they would not be as good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you're in the middle of the ocean, you would not want your plane to dissolve right in front of you.
Nope.
I'm not scared of flying, obviously, but even then, I still wouldn't want to be in a plane diving into the ocean.
No.
I don't think anybody actively wishes for that unless their name is like Bane or something. Like Bane, because Bane does make that happen on purpose.
Oh yeah, Bane likes crashing planes.
Oh yeah. I mean, they practically rhyme. So, and of course, Perry just like returns to the boys, like dozing, like it's like the entire episode.
Oh, we should mention the whole running gag with Perry. You tell him about the running gag.
Yeah, like Perry's like basically the entire time Perry's wanted to get somewhere. He's just like basically on this like rotating platform. Like it gets him into the base, then to Doofenshmirtz's apartment, get Doofenshmirtz's building, and then like it allows him to escape from the phone calls. Like even Doofenshmirtz like seriously, he's like seriously, how does that even happen? And then of course, like at the end, of course, the rotating platform somehow works in the water too, and Perry just shows up. It's like they're not even going to try and explain or justify how that works.
I love that phone trap, by the way. The prank call, death, trap for Perry. He answers the phone, just wraps him in the cord.
I mean, it is one of the more practical traps that Doofenshmirtz has for him.
Yeah.
But Perry still gets out of it by doing the whole rotating platform thing, and Doofenshmirtz was like, "Oh, come on!"
All right, so in our post credit, we see Candace and Jeremy have like a broken arm, broken leg, and Jeremy's sign or cast, like Candace plus Jeremy, all real cutesy and stuff, and that the girl earlier was a gamer, not an adventurer,
and also his cousin.
Yes, in retrospect, Jeremy should say, "Hey, Candace, meet my cousin." But Candace doesn't really afford him the opportunity, so
Yeah, that is fair. She kind of jumped the gun on that one.
Oh yeah.
Like, fortunately, though, from what I can remember, she doesn't have. I mean, there are episodes where she becomes more insecure about the relationship and everything. Being with, and getting Jeremy's attention. But as far as I remember, she doesn't actually get jealous in this way ever again. As far as I can remember.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Well, some cousins do so it's a rational. Okay, I don't think we. Okay, we're not gonna touch that one, Code Geass.
Yeah, let's not bring the root out for that one.
Yeah, that's one line. Apparently, that's one line we will not cross.
This isn't Hee-Haw after all.
Okay.
This is Fantasy Island, not Hee-Haw.
I mean, literally, the episode is a reference to Fantasy Island.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean with the whole the plane. It's yeah.
Dylan Jones says so.
Well, you reached the end of the show, Dylan Jones, but welcome.
Yes, welcome to the show, Dylan. Like we're about to wrap up, but thank you for stopping by. But I think we've said our piece on these episodes. The Dragon, any closing thoughts on this week then?
I don't know. Talking through it, I think I don't know. I think I found some redeeming value, perhaps in Thaddeus and Thor, but I think I found maybe some more like, yeah, we really cheaped out the Doofenshmirtz plot on to plane. Funny, but not really anything there. But again, overall, it's a good week. Just I don't think it's like the most tight knit week.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you get that one. You get that with the show. Like sometimes, like the A plot hits, sometimes the B plot doesn't, and vice versa.
Yeah,
Sometimes all the plots fire in all cylinders.
yeah.
I mean, I remember like you were a big fan of like when like the restaurant one and everything like that with the episodes that were
Yeah, Shea Platypus or Shea Platypus.
yeah, Shea Platypus and
Shea Perry.
I forget the other episode that was with that one. Let's see. I mean that so far seems to be like your favorite. So like, don't even blink. That was the other one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, those seem to be like the strongest for both of us this week. So far in this season. Like,
I think so.
I mean, I'm still partial to Chronicles of Meat, but mainly probably because of like the whole Ride from Outer Space sequence and everything.
I love the Ride from Outer Space.
We all love the Ride from Outer Space, Dragon. even Vanessa digs it.
Oh, that she does.
Oh yeah. So, Dragon tends to like the episode. The level of Dragon is more neutral. Well, I mean, Dragon likes the episodes too. It's just that we both like different aspects of different episodes, and that's what makes these kinds of discussions interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think that closes it for this week. Thank you, Code Geass, Dylan Jones, Aquatad for joining us, and that does it for this week. So join us next time on the Phineas and Ferb Recap-inator, where the boys host a game show and then help the girls save the Fireside Girls save the Star-Nosed Mole. Meanwhile, Doofenshmirtz declares war on infomercials, then starts to take things a little too literally. Good night, everybody.
Greevil.
Greevil. So peanutty, you won't even taste the chicken.